Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use make.com with Gmail and AI to automatically respond to a web form. So you see that we got a simple web form here with a name, an email, and a message. This is how it looks like in code. So the only important part here is this form part. The rest is just styling and making it look good. So we have a form here that uses the post method, which means that these three inputs here will be sent in as the body of the request. So we have the name here, email, and the message, as you saw here. Name, email, and message. And then we have a submit button that submits the form. Okay, now let's go over to make. And here we're going to be creating a webhook that receives the form request. So click on this and choose webhooks, custom webhook, not mailhook, custom webhook, create webhook. And I'm going to call this form webhook. Form webhook. That's it, I guess. Save. Yeah. All right. So here we have the webhook URL. So I'm going to copy the address, and now it's waiting for us to make our first request. So let's go to our form here, and no, let's go to the code here. We're going to have to add the URL here as the action, so it knows where to send the request. I'm going to save this, go back here, refresh this page, and name here is going to be, let's say Jack. Temporary email address from temp mail here. Put this in here. And the message now, for this tutorial, I'm just going to pretend having a construction company. So I'm going to ask about that. Hi. How much does it cost? How much does it cost to build a typical wooden house? Something like that. Okay, now let's send this. Accepted. Let's go back to make. And you can see here it's been successfully determined. Okay, great. Now I'd like to see the data that we receive. So for that, I'm going to click on run once. Now while it's waiting here, let's go back to the form, go back, send it again. Let's go to make now, and we can see here the output that we receive. So the bundle we have name, Jack, email, that's email, and the message. All right, so now we're going to add Chatgpt to create a response for this. So let's move this to the left side and click on add another module. OpenAI here, and we're going to choose create a completion. And we need to create a connection. Click there. Just gonna, leave it as so. API key and organization ID. All right. So if you don't have an OpenAI account, it's not the same as ChatGPT account. You have to go to platform.openai.com and create an account. You see we have, there's a link here for creating an API key. So you can just click on that. I'm gonna copy this link, go down here. Okay, so I'm already at the page. It's the same page there. Great. And here I'm gonna create an API key. So click on create a new secret key. I'm gonna call this emailer, yes. Create the secret key. Copy this. Now this is a secret key, so you should not share this with anyone. I'm gonna delete this after the tutorial. And let's go back here. I'm gonna paste it in here. And now we also need an organization ID. So I'm gonna copy this link. Paste it in here. All right, and this is the organization ID here. Copy this. Paste it in here on the organization ID. Save. And now the connection should be created. Let's wait for a while. All right, now we have a connection. So now the next step is to add some prompts so it can generate a response. So for this, I'm going to choose a model first. GPT-4 mini, GPT-4o mini is good enough, so I'm going to choose that. And then we have the messages here, so click on add message. The first one here is the system message. Now, the system message is kind of a general message for the AI to know how it should behave in general, not the specific. So, for example, you are a teacher, that could be a system message, and a little bit more context, of course. And then you have the user message with specific things like what is 5 plus 7 or whatever, right? So you have the system message that don't change, and then you have the user message every time you're going to ask it something. So for the system message, I have already generated a prompt here for a small construction firm. Now you might be wondering why this is JSON. Originally it was a normal prompt like this one here, but I told it to format this as JSON. And you're gonna see why later. I'm gonna explain it so it makes sense. So let's copy this, come back here and paste this in here. Okay. Great, now another message. We're gonna need a user message here. The role is gonna be user. And the message content is reply to the message below by this, click on name here, by name with email message. Okay, so that should be good enough. Maximum tokens. Okay, here's the maximum tokens ChatGPT we use. I'm just gonna say it's 5,000, something like that. Okay. Okay, now let's try it out. Now I ran this and I didn't get the output that I expected. It didn't come in JSON format, but just as plain text. And the reason is that I forgot to explicitly tell it in the prompt to output it as JSON. So let's fix that. So I go back to ChatGPT here, where I generated a prompt, and I'm gonna copy the old prompt. Then I'm gonna paste it here in text document, and I'm gonna add one thing down here after these curly brackets. I'm gonna call this output format colon, and then I'm gonna say JSON, but I'm also gonna specify what objects I want in the JSON. So I want a subject and a message. So that's how I want it, because the email node or the email module, Gmail module, needs a subject and a message by itself. And that's what the parse JSON module is going to extract for us from what this generates. All right. So let's go back. No, let's copy this first. And go back here. And now the system message here, we're going to paste in our new prompt. Let's check that it's correct. Yes, we have added that below. Great. So now let's try this out. Run once, back here, send this. I'm just gonna write whatever. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see now what we get. Go down to output, and you can see now that we got everything as JSON. So we have a subject here by itself, and we have the message here by itself. Great. So that works now. Now the next step will be to add a parse JSON module. So let's do that. Let's click here, JSON, parse JSON, JSON string, and we're going to choose the results. Click on OK. Now let's try this. run once, run anyway. Let's go back here and let's add a real email here and add a real questions. So how much does a house cost? Send this, go back here. Okay, we got an output. Let's look at it. So now the output, the parse JSON module has parsed this for us, and it gives us a subject here and a message with the greeting, body, and closing. So now we have everything we need to send an email. Now let's connect Gmail and send our email. So let's click here, choose Gmail, send email. Now I already have a connection here. If you don't have one, you can check out this video above that shows you how to connect to Gmail. Otherwise, let's continue. Okay, for the subjects, we now have the one we parsed from the JSON. So we can click on subject here. And for the content, now we have a message that includes all of these. And the message is divided into 3 parts: the body, the closing, and the greeting. The good thing with this is that we can now control the formatting a little bit. So let's start with the greeting. Now after the greeting, I want a new line. So I write it like this in HTML. And after that, we want the body. And after that, I want 2 new lines. Well, 2 new lines, which means 1 white space between the body and the closing. So I do it like this, and then we add the closing here. Okay, and that's basically it. Now let's click on OK here. Yeah, and the recipient, of course. So the email address, we can get this from the webhook. We received that from the form when we submitted that. So click on email here, and that should be everything. Click on OK. And now let's try and run this. Let's go back here. Jack, copy the email. What does a house cost? Send this. Go back. All right, now OpenAI is generating something, and the email was sent. So let's check it here, our inbox. Yeah, we got the email there. Open this up, and you can see there, hi Jack. So this is a new line, the BR thing we did there. See this BR thing, where is it? This means a new line. So that's why the body here started on a new line after hi Jack, after the greeting. And then we added 2 BR tags, which means two new lines. 1 line down here, and then another line to leave a white space. And here is the closing. Best regards, Jennifer, customer service, etc. So yeah, now we have a fully functioning autoresponder to a web form. I hope you found this video valuable, and if you have any questions or feedback to me, please leave a comment. I would love that. And subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. And aside from that, I wish you a nice day. Take care.